Hello,
I'm Captain Codebro.
and I'm a Blacklight.
We are two bros talking comics. And this week we're going to talk about Deadpool number 8.
This issue is Magnum Opus Part 1 of 4, and it is...
All your base are belong to us.
It is the Deadpool that brings us into the Dark Reign. Well, the last one kind of brought us into the Dark Reign, but this one is an actual Dark Reign comic.
Right.
It's written by Daniel Way, who also does the Wolverine Origins series that we talked about last week, or the week before last. The guy's becoming one of my favorite writers. I really enjoy everything he does, so I'm excited about that.
This issue gives us a whole backstory on the last 7 issues of Deadpool to tell us like exactly what happened through Secret Invasion and all of it leading up into the Dark Reign, and it has a nice little synopsis of all of that.
And if you haven't read those, I would highly recommend those. This is the best series I've read in a long time. Like, Deadpool is an incredible series. It's comical, and it's action-packed, and it's awesome. It's great.
Yeah. Deadpool himself just having his whole hallucinations and multiple personalities is really neat. How he talks to himself throughout the entire comic, or he'll start hallucinating about whatever. Like in a few issues back, he was picturing Nick Fury as a baby, and that was very comical.
Yeah, pretty much. Even if there was no fighting going on in the comic, it would still be a phenomenal comic book. Just the way, like, if Deadpool's the only person in the room, there's still a conversation going on because he's crazy. So he's talking to himself like there's a second person in the room. And then, like, every time he fights someone, he just pictures them as, like, a comical, like, idiot character, or a very, like, a baby character, or something. Like, in the Wolverine Origins, there was this giant, like, I don't know, like 5-page, like, story of him fighting Wolverine. And the whole time he just had Wolverine as a skinny little, like, dude with an I'm stupid shirt on, and it was so funny.
Deadpool's going, like, in the last couple of issues, he was contracted by Nick Fury to break into the Skrull mothership and get information on how to kill the Skrull, how to kill the Queen. He got that information, and, like, Nick Fury wasn't really positive he was going to be able to. Deadpool himself wasn't sure he was going to be able to. He got it, went to transmit it back to Nick Fury, and it got hijacked by Norman Osborn. So in this issue, he's going to get that money back from Norman Osborn, is what he's saying. He's found a way to get him to pay.
Yes. So he says he has a plan, and then he turns the page and he's talking to himself, and he says, "What's the plan?" And he goes, "Well, I guess we'll see what happens." So he doesn't have a plan, which just deeper tells you he's crazy. He's so funny and crazy. And Norman Osborn's waiting for him because he knows he's there. And that's sweet because Deadpool doesn't care. He just sits there and makes fun of Norman Osborn's hair the whole time. Which is perfect because Norman Osborn's hair is terrible. It's like a cornfield.
So he gets into the building and there's an Iron Man suit sitting there. He's like, oh, this is neat. And then Osborn shows up with his little flying robot. And then they get into their little fight.
Which is really the most action this comic has, really. Like, there's not a whole lot of action that I remember in this comic. More just dialogue and, like, just a couple little jump front flip things, you know? But other than that, like, it's still great. Like, he steals Iron Man's chest piece, the Iron Man that's there, anyway, suit.
Steals that, and he's able to trick Osborn into thinking he's killed him, but really he hasn't. The bullets were deflected by the chest piece.
Yeah.
He's starting to go up the elevator shaft. He realizes he's got a long way up, and he's got a grappling gun. And it tells us that we're going to find out how he got it in issue number 9, so yeah. I've got a feeling that issue number 9 is probably going to be some type of flashback issue or possible time travel or something, but it's going to be awkward.
And then he decides to pass the time by pretending, instead of going up an elevator shaft, he's climbing up a beanstalk. and he sees Norman Osborn as a big goofy giant. That's super funny. Every Deadpool issue is like this, and they're all incredible. And then he somehow hijacks the glider, the goblin glider, and he decides that he doesn't need his brain anymore because he has the glider, and that's pretty funny. So like he's just arguing with his brain. He's like, you know what, I don't need you anymore because I have this glider, so he can think for me, and I don't need the brain. And so that's pretty funny because his brain is mad at him, and it's just ridiculous and funny.
He takes the glider, he takes it up, and abandons his other personalities, and gets up there and realizes the glider's going to turn back on him once he's not on top of it, and then he has to fight them. He blows them up, and then realizes that it's not Osborn that's in the tower.
Yeah. And who does he find? The Thunderbolts, who, since they've vamped the Thunderbolts after the new Dark Avengers, I don't really know who a lot of these guys are. They look like they're gonna beat the piss out of Deadpool, but I don't know who they are.
Right. It's funny, like before it shows that it's the Thunderbolts, he gets an axe thrown at him, and it's really funny because all in one word he's like, "Whoa, giant axe!" Like, "Whoa, giant axe!" It's pretty funny.
Yeah. So I mean, and then it says that I don't read the Thunderbolts, but it says continued in Thunderbolts number 130. So that means I probably will buy the next Thunderbolts, because
me as well.
With it telling us that the grappling gun is going to be in number 9, I have a feeling number 9 is going to be more of a flashback issue, maybe.
Right.
And then the Thunderbolts is going to be the next part of the magnum opus, maybe. I don't really know. I mean, I'm going to buy it regardless. I'm going to buy the next Deadpool regardless, because I have not been the least bit disappointed in this series. Daniel Way.
Good ride.
Kudos, my friend. Kudos. This just brings me to one question. Is Deadpool a bad guy or a good guy? You don't really know. Like, he's not going after Norman Osborn because Norman Osborn's doing something wrong. He's going after Norman Osborn because Osborn owes him money.
Right.
So, if Osborn didn't owe him money, and there was no money involved, he wouldn't have any part in it whatsoever.
Well, Deadpool is just a mercenary, so he does whatever he can do for money, or whatever he thinks that he needs to do to get money. Like, that's who Deadpool is as a character. He's just a mercenary. So that's his reasoning behind it, I think.
But does that make him a good guy or a bad guy?
He's whoever's paying the most.
So if you have any ideas or any comments, you should put them in the comment box down here, and tell us what you think of whether Deadpool's a good guy or a bad guy, or just a dude that's super rad. And has anybody seen the pictures of Deadpool in the new Wolverine Origins movie? Because I feel like it's gonna be rad. I like Ryan Reynolds, but I feel like they didn't make him look like Deadpool. And I don't know why, because I think it would have transferred over to a movie pretty well. I don't know, Ryan Reynolds is too pretty to play Deadpool, I think.
That's a good point.
They should have made him all scarred up and gnar.
So as far as this comic, what are you going to give it?
I'm going to give it a 3.8, because all the other Deadpools are between a 4.8 and a 5, and this might be my least favorite Deadpool issue, even though it's amazing.
Yeah, I was going to go with a 3.7, so that's what I've got for it. I thought it was pretty good. Not awesome. It was good.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of Two Bros Talking Comics. Talk to your friends, tell them about us, or don't. I don't care. See you later.
Bye.